What's going on, guys? This is A Escalante with Design Your Lifestyle Online. Thanks for joining again, another day of reading. We have another special topic for you guys, which is defeating your disappointments. How often do we encounter disappointments? How often do we encounter mistakes? Joel Osteen, it says that it's important to encounter your mistakes and be humble enough to forgive yourself for those mistakes and forgive yourself for those disappointments. So make sure that we tune in for the reading today. It's going to be a spectacular one. We always do this on a daily basis. We read for about 10 to 15 minutes, and then what we do is we talk about we talk a little bit about the topic. And if you guys have any questions, comments, I'm more than happy to answer them or to interact with every single one of you. Once again, if you guys are watching the replay, make sure to hit a quick little like, put hashtag replay. Let me know where you're watching from. I really appreciate all the comments that you guys give me, and I always reply to every single one of you. So let's get right into it. Defeating disappointments is the name of the chapter here, and we're reading Your Best Life Now by author and minister Joel Osteen, a very renowned author, and I really respect and I really love his stuff. And this is the second book that we've been reading from his part. Keep in mind that we always post every single one of these readings in our page, in our Facebook page. So if you guys missed any, it's okay. You guys can go back and see those. We also post every single one on YouTube. And if you're new on our YouTube channel, make sure to subscribe. And we also have more content that I know every single one of you will enjoy. So let's hear our words of motivation. Let's hear our words of inspiration and our words of wisdom for the day. I hope you guys enjoy this topic. Defeat your disappointments. One of the most important keys to living your best life now, as well as moving forward, is into the great future God has for you, is learning how to overcome the disappointments in life. Because disappointments can pose such formidable obstacles to letting go of the past, you need to be sure you have dealt with the area before taking the next step to living at your full potential. Let's be honest, all of us face disappointments from time to time. No matter how much faith you have or how good of a person you are, sooner or later something or somebody will shake your faith to its foundations. It may be something people such as not getting that promotion you really hope for, not closing the big sale that you worked on so hard, not qualifying for a loan to buy that house that you really wanted. Or it may be something more serious, a marriage relationship falling apart, the death of a loved one, or an incredible debilitating illness. Whatever it is, that disappointment possesses the potential to derail you and wreck your faith. That's why it is vital that you recognize in advance that disappointments will come and that you'll learn how to stay on track and deal with them when you do. Often, defeating disappointments and letting go of the past are the flip sides of the same coin, especially when you are disappointed in yourself. When you do something wrong, don't hold on to it and beat yourself up about it. Admit it, seek forgiveness, and move on. Be quick to let go of your mistakes and failures, hurts, pains, and sins. The disappointments that disturb us the most, however, are usually those caused by other people. Many individuals who have been hurt by others are missing out on their new beginnings because they keep reopening old wounds. But no matter what we have gone through, no matter how unfair it was or how disappointed we were, we must release it and let it go. Somebody may have walked out on you. Somebody may have done you a great wrong. You may have prayed fervently for a loved one's life to be saved, yet your loved one died. Leave that with God and go on with your life. The Bible says the secret things belong to God. Leave them there. Disappointments almost always accompany setbacks. When you suffer loss, of course you will feel strong emotions. Nobody expects you to be an impenetrable rock or an inaccessible island in the sea. Not even God expects you to be so tough that you simply ignore the disappointments in life, shrugging them off as though you are impervious to pain. No, when we experience failure or loss, it's natural to feel remorse or sorrow. That's the way God made us, and if you lose your job, most likely you're going to experience a strong sense of disappointment. If you go through a broken relationship, that's going to hurt. If you ever lost a loved one, there's a time for grieving. a time for sorrow that is normal to be expected. But if you are still grieving and feeling sorrow over disappointment that took place a year or over ago, something is wrong. You are hindering your future. You must make a decision that you are going to move on. It won't happen automatically. You will have to rise up and say, I don't care how hard this is. I don't care how disappointed I am. I'm not going to let this get the best of me. I'm moving on with my life. The enemy loves to deceive us with wallowing in self-pity, fretting, feeling sorry for ourselves, or having a chip on our shoulders. Why did this happen to me? God must not love me. He doesn't answer my prayers. Why did my marriage end in divorce? Why did my business not succeed? Why did I lose my loved one? Why didn't things work out in my life? You can't unscramble eggs. Such questions may be valid and may be even helpful to consider for a season, but after that, quit wasting your time trying to figure out something that you can't change. You can't unscramble eggs. What's done is done. Let the past be the past and go on. So you've suffered some setbacks. You didn't get what you were praying about. Things didn't go your way. Friend, you are not alone. Many fine, upstanding individuals have experienced something similar. Don't be trapped in the past. Hello guys, thanks for all the little likes. I really appreciate it. If you're going to avoid getting trapped in your past, you must learn to forgive yourself. You must be willing to accept God's mercy. You can't be so critical on yourself that you won't receive what God has to offer. Maybe you have had some bad choices and now you are trying to correct the things you've done wrong. That's noble, and to the extent that you can't make restitution for any hurt you have inflicted on others, you should attempt to do so. But you must understand you can't always repair every broken piece of your life of somebody else's life. You can't fix every mistake or clean up every mess that you've made. You've been trying to pay a debt that you cannot possibly pay. Perhaps it is time you simply receive God's mercy and forgiveness so you can move on with your life. Hello, Cassandra. Thanks for stopping up. Please don't misunderstand. I'm not suggesting that you take the easy way out. Don't take the easy way out. Ignoring or abdicating responsibility for your actions. Quite the contrary. As much as you are able, you should seek forgiveness from and make restitution to those who have hurt. But frequently, little can be done to correct the past. When you know the situation is over and done, the best thing to do is just move on. I hope you guys are enjoying this topic about defeating your disappointments. You can't put a question mark where God has put a period. You can't put a question mark where God has put a period. Avoid the tendency to dwell on what you could have done. With college you should have attended, which career you should have pursued, or that person you wish you would have married. Quit living in a negative frame of mind, stewing about something that is over and done. Focus on what you can change rather than what you cannot. Shake yourself out of that should have, would have mentality and move on. Don't let the regrets of yesterday destroy the hopes and dreams of tomorrow. That's an awesome line. I'll say it again. Don't let the regrets of yesterday destroy the hopes and dreams of tomorrow. Surely we can all look back and see things in ourselves that we wish we would have done differently. But the Bible says, make the most out of each day. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow may not come. You must live for today. Start right where you are. You can't do anything about what's gone, but you can do a great deal about what remains. You may have made some poor choices that have caused an awful heartache and pain. Perhaps you feel that you have blown it, that your life is in shambles and beyond repair. You may feel disqualified from God's best, convinced that you must settle for second best the rest of your life because of the poor decisions that you've made. But friend, God desires your restoration even more than you do. If you'll let go of the past and start living each day with faith and expectancy, God will restore everything that the enemy has stolen from you. Disappointments, my least favorite topic. Good comment, Cassandra. Hey, but it has to be addressed, right? Let's be frank. Sometimes because of wrong choices, disobedience, or sin, we miss out on God's plan. The good news is God has a plan B, a plan C, and whatever it takes to get us to his final destination for our lives. Worse yet, maybe you weren't the person who made the bad choices, but somebody else's foolish decision caused you to experience wrenching heartache and pain. Regardless, you must stop dwelling on it. Let the past be the past. Forgive the person who caused you trouble and start afresh right where you are today. If you continue to dwell on those past disappointments, you will block God's blessings in your life today. It's simply not worth it. Maybe you have put a lot of time, effort, and resources into your plan. You've prayed about it, you have believed, maybe you have spent a lot of money, but now you can clearly see that the door is closing and you are disappointed, you say. You say, God, how can I ever let go of this? It's going to be such a waste. I put so much into it, and all I can see is failure. Right there is where you must dare to trust God, knowing that He has another plan, a better plan. He wants to do something new in your life, and you must let go of the old so you will be ready and able to receive the new plan God has for you. God will do more than you can ask or think. Recently, Kevin and Lisa adopted another child, a baby boy. Lisa quipped, "How about that? God has given me 3 beautiful children and I have not had to spend a single month being pregnant." Well, we all encounter circumstances that cause us to grow negative, bitter, or disappointed with ourselves or God. But I love that what Apostle Paul said, "Forgetting what lies behind and straining forward to what lies ahead, I press on towards the goal." In other words, Paul is saying, I'm not going to dwell on yesterday's disappointments or my past failures. I'm not going to think about what I would have done or should have done. I'm leaving all that behind and I'm looking ahead for those good things God has in store for me. That's kind of the attitude we should all have. And this is the last little part, guys. Enjoy. Every morning when you get up, refuse to dwell on what you did wrong the day before. Refuse to dwell on yesterday's disappointments. Get up each day knowing that God is loving and forgiving God, and He has great things in store for you. Paul said, I'm straining forward, I press towards the mark. Those words imply a strong effort. It's not always easy to get over some of those bumps in the road, those disillusionments and disappointments. It's going to take a strong will. Sometimes it may take courage. Sometimes nothing but faith in God and sheer determination will see you through. But you can say, I refuse to be trapped in the past. I'm not going to let that past destroy my future. I'm pressing on. I'm straining forward, knowing that God has great things in store for me. Thank you. When you make mistakes, and we all do, humble yourself and receive God's forgiveness and mercy. Be willing to forgive yourself. Don't live in regret. Regret will only interfere with your faith. Faith must always be present tense reality, not a distant memory. God will turn those disappointments around. He will take your scars and turn them into stars for His glory. I've dwelled on the past so much, and that's why I love this topic. If you guys just finished listening to that reading, I've dwelled on so many things. The main things that I've dwelled on is my business. I wish that we would have started our business much earlier. Exactly. Forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Absolutely. And I've tried to forgive myself now, and I have forgiven myself. But for the last 5 years, I was thinking that there's so much more to life. What if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? Just last year, even just this last year, I was thinking of how my business is going, of all our businesses are going. And I've been thinking, what if I would have just started the business 2 years ago? What if I would have started, because I did start a couple online businesses as well, and they failed because I didn't know exactly what I was doing. I didn't know the right direction. I wasn't listening to the right people. But guess what? I can't dwell on that anymore. I found the right business model. I found the right people. I found the right things that will help me to continue achieving my goals. And dwelling on the past is what caused me to fail even more in those things that I was doing. It wasn't just affecting my business. It was affecting my relationships. It was affecting things with friends and family. It was affecting a lot of areas of my life. And unfortunately, it continued to be that way for a full year until I understood that I can't keep dwelling on the disappointments of the past. I just can't. You have to let them go. Humble yourself to forgive yourself for all those disappointments and mistakes that you've made. How many mistakes have you guys made? Literally. I mean, you guys can think about it. You don't have to type it in. But how many mistakes have you guys made that you've gone and think like, crap, crap, what if I would have just done that differently? Humble yourself once again and forgive yourself. But the best thing out of this is learn the example of what happened and learn the lesson that those things gave to you. Learn the lesson, guys, and don't keep dwelling on the past. Defeat your disappointments, like Joel Osteen says. I think is a great topic. God's timing is perfect. His timeline, not ours. Hundreds, Cassandra, hundreds of mistakes. Yes, count me in. Thousands of mistakes that I've made. But guess what? I will not be disappointed. One little thing that I'd like to mention is today we actually had, I was looking forward to one of our big soccer games. As many of you know, I'm a soccer coach. And we've been preparing for this game because it was going to be like our league championship. It's the two number one teams, our team and another school's team. And as soon as we were going to play, everything was going well. We had the warm-up going. Everything was going well. And it turns out that the referees, for some reason, weren't showing up. And so we made a few calls, and unfortunately what happened is that our game was marked as canceled. It wasn't our fault. It wasn't the other team's fault. Something just happened with the league. So unfortunately what happened was we had to reschedule our game, but our guys were prepared to play today. Everybody was prepared to kick butt today. But unfortunately, it did not happen that way. And yes, it was disappointing because we had practiced all our tactical session. We had practiced everything fitness-wise. We were ready mentally, physically for that game. And as I just mentioned, it got postponed to another day. And so today I was a little bit upset because we had trained so hard for this day that we were ready to play, give it our all, and take victory. But unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. I was a little bit frustrated. I was a little bit disappointed. But then I realized that it gives us another week to train even harder. So I always look at the positives now. It's not just dwelling on what just happened. It's improving, learning the lesson, and just accept it because it happened that way. Okay, it happened that way. Now, there's other things, for example, that you shouldn't accept. Maybe the fact that you're where you are financially. You don't have to accept you are in a specific place because that's just the way it happened with you. But it doesn't mean that you're stuck where you are. So once again, guys, I know it was a little off topic there, but defeat your disappointments, stop dwelling on the past, learn the lesson from the mistakes and the disappointments that you've encountered, and continue striving, guys. Once again, I really appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in. We have all our videos on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, I would really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel, really helps out the video, so that I can continue doing more of the things that I do on a daily basis. Thank you for sharing. Absolutely. There's nothing more that I would love to do than to share experiences, sharing the knowledge and wisdom of some other people. And if you guys have any book recommendations, please send them my way. Our next book is a business book, so that if you actually have a business or even if you work the 9 to 5, it will be very beneficial. And it will describe a little bit more about the things that I do online. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for the kind messages, the kind words and comments. Really appreciate that. And we will read again tomorrow. Kelly, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to hear the replay. I'm sure you will definitely enjoy this topic. Thank you, guys, and you have yourselves a beautiful night, and we'll talk again and read again tomorrow with another great topic. Thank you, guys. Good night.